This is the LG Stylo 6. This device right here is my very first stylo device, so I'm pretty excited to see what it all has and if it can compare to the Moto G Stylus. I picked this up from Metro by T-Mobile, so let's go ahead and check this out. Let's do this! Pulling the lid off the box, I see the phone first. Then next, this is a SIM card for Metro by T-Mobile. Here's the manual as well as the SIM ejection tool. You have a white Type A to Type C charging cable. And then lastly, you have the white fast charge power brick. Here's everything that you get inside of the box. Just to note, there are no earphones. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the device. They're giving you a little bit of information regarding that, but peeling the plastic off, I can take a look at it. It has a shimmery type of look. They listed this color as just white. The triple cameras, the flash, and the fingerprint sensor at the top, and the LG branding down at the bottom. The right side of the LG Stylo 6 has just the single power button, nothing else, so pretty clean on the right side. The top of the device has the microphone, and that's it. But the left side of the device is where all other buttons are found. So you have your up and down volume keys, and then right underneath that you have the Google Assistant button, and then right underneath that is your SIM tray. The bottom has my beloved headphone jack, but to the right, you see the stylus. You also have the speaker, but let's go ahead and take a look at the stylus. You push in and then you pull the stylus out to get it out of the device. And it looks like this one is a little bigger. The tip actually looks a little bigger than that of the Moto G Stylus. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stylus of the Moto G Stylus and compare them. So already off the bat, it looks like the G Stylus stylus is a little smaller and thinner. Putting them side by side, you can see the LG Stylo stylus is taller and also a little bigger. So putting it back in the device, there is no issue, but actually what I want to see is, can you put it reverse, or can you put it the other way? And me trying to do so. Let me go ahead and take this out again and show you that you can only put it one way. And see, I'm going to go ahead and insert it, but you see this right here, if I can turn it around, this right here stops it. So you have a little bit of protection from inserting the stylus in incorrectly. So now I have booted up the device, and I must say this whole thing took a very, very long time. So for me to even get to this welcome screen, it did take a substantial amount of time. So this is right here is telling you about the new second screen. So really it's just how thick do you want that notch, and I don't like that, so I'll leave it as is. That works for me. There's already an update, so we'll do that. And now I can choose what backup I want to restore from. So I have a few here, but what I'm going to do is use the Moto G Stylus backup. Now 7.7 gigabytes of 45 gigabytes will be used with everything that I'm going to back up on the device. We'll go ahead and set up the fingerprint sensor. Now that wasn't too bad, setting up the fingerprint sensor with my fingerprints. I used both index fingers on both hands. So here it is set up. kind of like it is supposed to be on the Moto G Stylus. So let's go ahead and take a look how close it did. And I feel like that's pretty decent. That's actually really good. I do have my wallpaper at least, and my Google search, that's black. So I'll go ahead and probably move that down later. And there you go. So now, first things first, let's go ahead and test out the fingerprint sensor. Oh my. That was really slow. Let's do this again. All right, that's a little better, but it is very, very slow. And again. Okay, so this is a super slow fingerprint reader, but it does unlock the device. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look at the camera. And so we'll use Kool-Aid Man to just take a quick picture. Snapping the picture. The shutter was very slow, and actually viewing the picture that you already took is slow. Let's go see about portrait. Let's see how portrait works out for Mr. Kool-Aid. So let's see. And okay, I'm ready to snap the picture. All right, that shutter was actually a little faster. What is going on here? Wow, you guys, you seen that on camera? That is super slow. The picture actually looks okay, but man, this phone is kind of slow. And then I'm just going through some of the other camera modes on this device with the rear camera, and more gets you panorama and flash jump cut and YouTube Live. I will do a dedicated video on the camera, but right now I wanted to do a scroll test to see how the device reacts and performs. And I'm getting some stutter, and yeah, a little bit of stutter is what I'm getting for the scroll test. Next up, audio video test. A good amount of screen when viewing content during Twitter and social media. That's all very doable. You can still see a good amount of whatever you're viewing and scroll up or down, and you still have the keys that are not taking up the screen. Viewing content or whatever you're doing is doable. The next great thing about the Titan is the convenience key, and that is another great feature that comes with the Titan. Now, just like the keyboard shortcuts, you can also customize the convenience key. 3 programmable features you can get out of using the red convenience key. Out of the box, they already have assigned certain features and functions to the key, but I already did a video on how you can set the convenience. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the stylus itself. As you see, when I pull out the stylus, this pop-up comes up and it gives me features such as new memo, GIF capture, draw chat, swift text, and screen memo. So this little circle at the top, this allows this to pop up, and then it hides it if you don't want it in the way. So if I press it again, it will reappear, and I can go ahead and select new memo. So selecting new memo, I get this message saying that pretty much it will lock the navigation bar so you can draw on the edges. By default, it's already enabled, so I'll hit OK and I'll start writing on the screen, and it feels nice, similar to that of the Moto G Stylus. So I can go ahead and erase, and I have a bunch of options at the top, and let's go ahead and go through some of those. So hitting the T gives you the text, so I can go ahead and use the keyboard as well as the stylus to go ahead and jot a note or a memo. Then I can, which I really actually like this feature, I can go ahead and save certain pens so that I have quick access to them later. So you set it up now, and by color, the type of pen, the type of thickness on some of them, and you can save them for quick access. So that is a really nice feature that the Moto G Stylus doesn't have. This next option allows you to beautify your handwriting by using calligraphy. So anything that you type will automatically change the font. So you see I'm writing LG, and it changes the font to some nice calligraphy. And we'll say Stylo, and it gave me sit. So we don't want that. Let's go ahead and do this again. So we do LG. It likes LG. It'll take that, and we'll say Stylo. And I am not getting Stylo, so we'll cross that out. Let's do it again. So we'll do S. Now the S almost looks like a 5, and maybe it just doesn't like the way that my handwriting is. It's not reading it. So SG for SpecTechular Gadgets. I got my SG. So let's try something else. So I'm gonna go ahead and say weekends. So it took that. R. It takes that. Cool. So finally, it did finally take my one note after that many tries. GIF capture is pretty cool because essentially it allows you to create your own GIFs. Now for time purposes, I'm just going to use this memo, but I think it would work a lot better if you're going to use like a homemade video or something that you shot on your phone and then resize it, hit the record button, and voila, you have your own homemade GIF that you can go ahead and send to your friends. So that is pretty cool, and the Moto G Stylus does not have that. Draw Chat is another feature they have, which reminds me a lot of the Samsung Galaxy Note live message. And what it does is, as you are writing whatever you're writing, it records it, as you see, and plays back. But what you can do is send it to someone and they can see that cool animation or how you began to write your little message. So within the options, you have the choice to go ahead and change the background of your paper. And I think that's nice to be able to customize so much within the Stylus app. And this is something that you really can't do with the Moto G Stylus. Screen memo is a familiar one. What it does is it'll take a screenshot of whatever's on your screen, then you can go ahead and jot your notes on that screenshot. The one feature that I realized that I skipped was Swift Text, but what that one is it'll take your handwriting and put it into text. Even if you draw a heart, it'll give you a heart emoji. So that one's pretty cool, but that one's pretty familiar as well. So I'm gonna say the features on the Stylo, they're really good. There's plenty of them. My thoughts on the LG Stylo 6 is that it needs to be optimized better, because setting it up right out of the box took an extremely long time. It's kind of stuttery and it lags a bit. You saw trying to view the picture, how long it took. So LG, for this device, you really do need to work on the optimization. And yes, I'm aware that it has 3 gigabytes of RAM, but at the same time, there are other devices with about 3 or 4 gigabytes of RAM, and they run a lot smoother. The next thing is, this device kind of reminds me of a Sony because of how tall it is. It does look nice. The display is very nice. It is nice to look at. And I'm going to say I do like the stereo speakers. I've heard better, but hey, they give us stereo speakers on this. And the number one thing that I like about this device over the Moto G Stylus is the abundance of stylus features and options that you have. There's just so many, and that's a win for me. Other than that, this just about wraps it up for the unboxing of the LG Stylo 6. I want to thank everyone for taking the time to chill with me as we go through this journey. And until next time, everyone, I want you all to have a spectacular day. Later.